Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the Coconut Wireless. Today's Thursday, April 3rd. Let's go. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's bring in the big man, Uncle Charlie. What's happening, bro?
Aloha no, everybody out there. I'm doing fine, just trying to keep dry.
I know. Is it
Amen.
raining? Is it raining out on the west side?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know when it gets bad, and I
When?
always say this too. It gets bad when you wake up in the morning and you hear the beautiful rain, but then you see your rubbish can floating down the street. That's how you know it gets bad.
Yeah, I guess we're expecting more rain, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. We had I didn't even know we were in budget all day, and I didn't notice outside the windows until I walked out after the meeting, and I was like, "Oh my God, it must have been raining." So anyway, it's not that bad, not that bad.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, we got a long comment here. I won't be able to fit it on the screen, but Marie says, "I want to acknowledge and mahalo the swift, efficient, and organized actions by all staff at Dole Middle School in Kalihi for keeping everyone safe on campus due to a lockdown this morning at 7:30. It was due to a suspicious person on campus, possibly with a gun. Police quickly apprehended the suspect, and according to news reports, no weapons were found. Mahalo,
Mhm.
mahalo to all of them. And I watched the news tonight, and I couldn't understand what happened, but so I subscribe to the Star Advertiser and all the news channels, so every time they get alerts, I get them on my phone. But I was in my meeting and I saw lockdown, armed man with gun or person with gun, and then on the news
Yeah.
tonight, and I'm assuming it's the same incident. They said, "Oh, come to find out, it was just two students that were skipping school, and there was no gun." So I'm glad they took the precautions. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they
Err on
took
the
the
side of
precautions.
caution.
Yeah, that's
Err
right.
on the side of caution. Yep.
But I'm glad they did what they did. But I just couldn't understand how it went from man with gun on a school campus to it was just two students that had cut class without a gun.
Well,
Without a gun.
I'll tell you this. When you go through training, right, and you're doing training, and this goes for any type of active shooter or fire, any type of training. In a controlled situation, you kind of think out real world what you're planning on doing, right?
Yeah,
But don't you have that sense that when it really happens, all hell goes out the window,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and and it, and it's expected. But as long as you can wrestle everybody back and get them on the rails and said, "Hey guys, come on, guys and gals, we need to go in this." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, we need to go on this path because this is what we were trained. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Again, I'm not criticizing the response. It was just I just thought it was interesting. Heidi says excited that the bill got passed to make surfing a scholastic sport. Awesome. We'll be talking about high school sports tonight because there's that big story that broke yesterday, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Marie says we have students with criminal records in a particular secured class there. Yeah, Marie, I think the response was proper. I think it was, as you say, well done. So yeah, not meant as criticism, just an observation from someone that was 100 miles away. So yeah, appreciate the response.
Mm-hmm.
As Charlie said, you got to prep. You got to. Yeah, I remember as a cop. Yeah, I remember when you get the hot call, whether it's a domestic, a stabbing, a shooting, or whatever. Even a car accident, because you know what you're bound to see some very bad things. So you prep your
Oh
mind
yeah.
before you get there, right? You prep your mind. Worst case scenario, how am I going to, how am I going to, what am I going to do, and you all these scenarios go through your head in that short period of time. So
Mm-hmm.
you're mentally prepared. So when you get there, you can adjust the situation and not be on mess.
I will tell you this. I over the years, my brother retired HFD, and I used to make comments jokingly, but I was a knucklehead when I was a police officer because then when I got assigned to traffic, Then I started to really dig deep in investigations, right? And I used to criticize the fire department all the time, like on Lolo. And you're supposed to work arm in arm with them on accident
Absolutely.
scenes.
Hmm.
But I'm over there telling them, I said, oh no, there goes the evidence eradication team because, you know, they never play with water for so long. And the first thing you do, they bust out the water hose and they shooting away all your evidence. And I get to the scene and go, hey guys, had something over here. Where did they say, oh, sorry, bro. We'll shoot them off to the side. I go, oh, why you do that? But, when you start working tandem with a lot of these responding agencies and everybody knows their role, then you get a deeper respect.
Yeah,
And I think,
absolutely.
I mean, number one, you know, it's key when you get medics going there. But look in the mainland. Medics cannot just go right up to the scene. They have to make sure the scene is safe because there's always knuckleheads shooting at them as they're rolling up to a scene.
Yeah.
So the police have to make sure it's safe. They roll up, they do their job. And sometimes unfortunately they can't get to the victim quickly enough because they themselves going to become victims if they don't allow police to do what they need to do to neutralize the scene. So yeah, so I think the school was proper, even
Hmm.
though it was kind of funny with the second story, but nonetheless you err on the side of caution, and that's
Absolutely.
the you hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's what you
Especially
do.
today, in today's world, because of all the craziness that's going on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, Kehal, you got it. We're going to be talking about Coach Cavallo because that was it's still news that is rocking the state, especially in the sports world. But I think it just another example of how our society has changed, and so I kind of wanted to talk about that a
Okay,
little bit tonight.
don't you worry. Uncle Charlie get gorilla thumbs too. So when I type, I make mistakes all the time. Don't you worry. It's a-okay. We know what you meant, and it's all good. Don't you worry.
Yeah, yeah. I hate when I do that. I hate when I do that. In fact,
Oh,
Patsy did that today. She texted me today, and it absolutely made no sense whatsoever.
uh-huh.
So I replied back with three question marks because I honestly had no idea what she was talking about. And she just responded and said, "Never mind, LOL." So I think yeah. Okay,
No,
look at our. Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
no. With mine, I tell you this. I I think so. I dictate a lot on the phone. So I get a text message and I dictate to one of my coworkers. Her name is Patty. I know I heard Patty come out of my mouth, but I didn't check what I sent. And it for some reason, iPhones, folks, was not made in Hawaii. So for some reasons, it took Patty as Betty. So she responds to me, "I'm not Betty. I'm Patty, and I'm working on it." Real angrily. So when I get to the office, we were laughing. So I got two beautiful ladies and hard workers, and their real names is Patty and Laura, and I'm Charlie. But because I made the mistake by dictating and it came out wrong, Patty is Betty, Laura is Rachel, and I'm Festus.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
our anonymous name. Okay,
Hey,
anonymous.
we're international again tonight. We got
Yeah.
Vaughn and Mariah all the way in Tokyo Disneyland, Japan, enjoying his vacation again. That guy travels more. I don't know anybody else that travels more than Vaughn, but he's in Tokyo and Keith is in Thailand. So we are
Hey,
officially
how did
international.
they, how did they you know how did we how did
Oh,
we
the,
do it
the
in
earthquake?
Thailand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keith, how far away are you from where the earthquake hit? Yeah, oh man, our prayers are out with all those people over there. That's devastating, and I mean, there's still a lot of missing people. Thousands of people perished in that thing. It's horrific. 300 miles south. Well, I hope you're okay, brother. Thank you for joining us. Apparently, you have internet, so that's a good sign, I guess. But yeah, man, prayers to all of you guys. Um, Keith says he didn't feel anything. He's 300 miles south of where it hit Myanmar. So sad. And they're going through a civil war, too, right there at the same time. It's crazy, man. It's like nuts.
You
So
know,
nuts.
like for many of us who haven't been in that neck of the woods, when you hear something like a civil war, you think like full on gun battles, everything on the streets. But yet, we don't get enough news coverage on this side of the globe to show what's happening. We hear it when something like a massive earthquake happens, right?
Hmm.
And then you hear about one, because I didn't even know they had a civil war going on.
Yeah, me too. And it was during the newscast of the earthquake when they said even after the earthquake, guys were shooting each other. It's like crazy. I mean, can't you like take a break from the Civil War to deal with the earthquake? Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight. But anyway,
Yes.
I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about, and I'll put it up on the screen. This is an ESPN article because that's how far this has gone. This story has gone across the country because Sterling Cavallo, whose family is from Kauai, uh, one of the best coaches, high school coaches in the country, was let go from Kahuku High School. I don't. I'm still trying to, reach out to my sources, and I got some information, but they let him go. Uh, he's won three of the last four state championships. He's an incredible coach. He's an incredible person. He's an amazing guy. And again, one of the best coaches in the state. I mean, he is known throughout the country because he took the Kahuku Red Raiders to the mainland and played some of our nation's best teams. In fact, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, beat the top or number three ranked high school team in the country, and they let him go. And the story is all over. I mean, ESPN and of course ABC. But for you to make ESPN news, look at that guy. Look at him. It's just a good guy. But they let him go, and they let him go because they had a couple of complaints, two complaints over the last few years, and from what I'm gathering, it's because of favoritism and it's like favoritism. This is high school football, Charlie. This is not Pop Warner or KYF. This is high school football, where we are preparing our athletes for the next level, which is college. And you know, I've been around football for a long time, and I was shocked when that thing came off to my phone where he was out. I initially everybody thought it was April Fool's joke because there's just no way you would get rid of him. Um, why would anybody get rid of? Why would Kahuku get rid of him? One of the best coaches. Kind of same circumstances as the last coach at Kahuku. But
Yeah.
favoritism. I think again, football is a tough sport. It's a violent sport. It's a sport that I truly appreciate, and I think really builds character and discipline and teamwork and all of that in our young men and women in some cases. But I'm still in shock, and I just kind of wanted to talk story with you, Charlie, about that because
Hmm.
I mean I asked Patsy tonight, "What's up, Tyson?" I asked Patsy, "You think Bill Belichick from the New England Patriots was playing favoritism when he played Tom Brady?" I mean, would anybody complain because he played Tom Brady? No, the reason he played Tom Brady wasn't because of favoritism. It was because Tom Brady is probably the GOAT as it comes to quarterbacks. So you play your best players. You don't play people just because you like them. Not at that level. So what are your thoughts, Charles? What are your thoughts?
Well, let me put this into perspective. First of all, the analogy is if you have enough crackers on the trail, more than likely at any given time, you're going to see one little duck walking up the trail eating the crackers, right? That's
Correct.
what they say.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow that analogy as an example, the complaints made you really got to consider the source of who made the complaints and how far that complainant has the reach. Because I cannot see just two complaints will bounce somebody with this kind of record. Okay, I would
Accord-
say, go ahead.
Star Advertiser article said two complaints were filed with the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Man, no, it's just football, guys, by families of two players in different years. While Cavallo was a coach, a source told the advertiser the source requested anonymity because of their longtime ties to the community. Yeah, well, the community is very upset with this. But again, they're not saying what the complaints were about. Uh,
But if
I
you get ties to the community, isn't it normal that you go to the community and ho'oponopono, everybody come together and
yeah.
air out their grievances in the community, right?
Hmm.
Because okay, so let me ask you this hypothetically: if Kahuku now was not in the position to win games, and say it's deemed obvious from not having this individual coach with a stellar experience, right? Uh Removing him, did it make sense or not? I mean, that's the question that could be asked.
I agree. Um, I agree. And I'll put
Mm,
up Tyson's comment again because I think it's so on point. Kahuku is lacking leadership from the administration for sure. In the article, obviously Sterling, the coach, is not making any comments, but his brother did. His brother Stuart did, and his brother said, "quote For me and him, we never go on social media. Talking with him, We want to set the record straight. There's nothing illegal or criminal or anything he did that warranted the dismissal. What he won't do is give in to parents complaining about the way coaches coach, and he will support his coaches 100%. And I respect that as a coach. And I think parents got to understand that if you're going to play let your son or your daughter play in high school sports. I'm not talking about youth sports. I'm not talking about the youth leagues like youth soccer and youth baseball and youth Pop Warner and Pop Warner. Every kid has to play because it's a developmental. It's we're trying to create this environment for kids to learn the game. But at the high school
mhm.
level, it's really about winning championships and getting these kids prepped for the next level, which is college. He said the biggest thing for him is having values, having standards, and the most important thing is leading young men to become better people, leaving the program better than when he started, he said. And that's what he did with Kahuku. That's what he did. And the administration, the Kahuku High School administration, felt otherwise and and dropped him. And I think that that's going to
So,
come.
so, so when you have something like this, I call it a speculative dismissal because you don't say much, you dismiss the person, and you leave the blanks to be filled by the spectators looking from the outside in and start speculating the worst, right? Because usually the worst is when you get removal. It's not for something that, oh, yesterday was blue shirt day, but he came in pink or he came in white. That's why we remove him. Because there's not so much facts given. I think it would be more palatable if they were gonna remove him, that the school at least say, let it be clear now, there are some issues pending, none of which are criminal. Then you can put that to rest coming from the school. But the school didn't say that, right? And
No,
that's
no.
and that's what makes it so speculative. Is like, man, you think the worst. Like, hey, maybe was it criminal? Did he have some maybe a relationship or something? I mean, the thing can go on and on and on. I think everybody who knows his coach knows his character, knows he's genuine. So, but yet there's people like myself. I don't know who this person is, but I'm not going to venture to go because I've been and being police officers, right? We've been around when you speculate, you can get thrown off the trail if you investigate one case for one theft, and yet the thing taking you to a trailer, you investigating one murder. That's whoa, 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 time out, hold on. We don't have to go that way. Let's just stay on the rails and know what we're investigating. And I believe sooner or later some more information is going to come out, and I think for the individual involved, because to be in some ways good but some ways bad, put out there, he has his face, his name, his reputation in some ways because it is tarnished.
This is probably going to be a blessing in disguise for him because
Yeah.
if I'm sure he'll be getting offers from all
Oh
kinds of
yeah.
probably colleges.
Yep. Yep.
Tammy Miyazaki Poo says, so sickening. Parents should teach their kids to work harder to be a starter, not cry baby about favoritism, ruin it for all.
Hmm.
Can he fight it? Based on what I know, he's not going to fight it. He's at peace, according to his brother, and he's not going to fight it. I will tell you, he will. If Timmy Chang is smart, Timmy Chang from the UH would bring him on because with Sterling comes all that Kahuku athletes. Um, are schools allowed to give out any information if a case is under investigation? No, they're not allowed to give out any information. Period, because of the FERPA law. But you don't have to give out any information. But I think to put they got all the parents got letters, and the letter is in the on the websites, and it's basically saying that he is no longer part of the Kahuku football program. Why would you want to work for an administration who's thinking negative of you? And that's exactly why I think he stepped down. I think he's not fighting it because why would you? Why would you? But I know Charlie. You said you don't know him, and I never. I met him, but I don't know him. I know the family, and I know the family quite well. And but let me just read again from the Star Advertiser this morning or yesterday, maybe this morning. Mark Carisu is a Leilehua head football coach and well respected coach. Leilehua, he brought that program, turned it around. But this is what Coach Carisu said of Sterling. He said it's a big loss. Sterling did a great job at Kahuku, putting Hawaii on the national stage in a positive light, because he's that kind of guy. I think that's why we were able to get so many recruiters down here to look at our talent. But what he said next is, this is where his character shows. Now, Kahuku is in the open division. That is like the top of the top in our state. He said when we played them after the pandemic, this is Leilehua, he saw how depleted we were. He took time at the half to come and find me. He said, Coach, I know what you're going through. So I'm going to play our younger kids for the rest of the game. He knew the right thing was to honor the game by keeping it safe and allowing other players to participate. He said the score wasn't a concern, just allowing the kids to enjoy the game. He made it a point to do that for us, and I respect him for that. He's definitely somebody we're going to miss in the coaching ranks. That's from a colleague, a competitor. And if you read the article, there's many more coaches that said very good things about him. So yeah, I think it's a boo boo on Kahuku. I think it's gonna hurt Kahuku. And again, just based on the information I have received that I am not at liberty to share.
Hmm.
He did nothing wrong. It was the parents being upset because their kids weren't playing. And if you know Kahuku football, one of Sterling's sons was one of the top players. And again, you play the players that are the best players in the game. That's how sports works. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Heidi says, I know nothing about this case, but often when one door closes, a better one opens. I can guarantee you that if he wants to continue coaching, that next door is going to be a big door. It's going to be a big door. Susan says, another school going gain a great coach. Loss is a big loss to Kahuku. Absolutely. Just like Kalahil parents crying about their kids being bullied. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. How would a school let a great coach with high character go? There must be more to the story. Yes, I'm sure there is, but it's basically from the complaints from parents. Charlie, and I played football from baby days with Papuana and all of that, and even had a couple of years playing in the adult football league here on Kauai. Now I'm not an athlete. I was never a starter, but I knew everyone that did start was a better athlete. It was a better player. It is what it is, right? I wasn't gifted with the Iona blood, Charlie. You know what I mean? I not.
No,
So,
no, don't cut yourself short. It's just that the coaches and your teammates wanted to make sure that you went home safely. That's
but I tell you what I did do, Charlie.
what.
Rather than sit on a bench, I stood next to the coach. I just stood next to the coach. Wherever he went, I went. Because when somebody went down or somebody needed a break, I was the first player that he saw. And most of the time, I would get sent in. And now that was my opportunity to show the coach that I belong in the game. And that's what we got to teach our kids. We don't teach our kids that if you mad, go foul and complain. If you jealous, go foul and complain. No, if you mad, if you're not getting enough playing time,
Work harder.
work your ass off on the field during practice. Show the coaches that you want to be there and be better. And Tyson and I were talking today, and I said, Tyson's been a coach. Tyson played college ball, amazing athlete, and it's not always the kid with the best athletic skills that gets to start. It's the kid that has the best attitude, works harder. The hard work ethic, the work ethic that these kids can display in front of those coaches, whether it's at practice or at a game when they have an opportunity, is to show them that you're working hard. And coaches always tell you, man, he'll take heart over talent any day of the week. So that's what you teach your kids. Don't teach your kids that you go wah wah, especially football. My lord, it's a violent sport. You teach your kid, if you want to play, you go out there and you work hard. Work harder than everyone else. That's what we got to teach our kids. But that's not our society today, right, Charlie? Our society
Yep.
today is, hey, sue them, foul and complain. That's crazy, crazy.
Well, I will say this much. Too many times, I think, as parents, we want our kids. Like I used to tell my kids, hey, go out there, have fun. Win, win, lose, lose. Main thing at the end of the game, did you have fun? That's all I care about. And they don't get hurt. But when somebody is out there, I cannot say too much about the complaining because I heard my fair share of complaints in the past, even when I was coaching soccer. And I knew, and the thing about it is, I felt at the time maybe the complaints were valid because why? The coach for the team on Maui walked off and nobody would step up to coach the kids. I said, I'll coach you. I said, I may teach new rules, and that is soccer is like football. Before you kick the ball, you knock the other guy down so you don't play it back. But, you know,
uh,
it's, you just want the kids to have fun, right?
yeah,
And and during that period of time that they're gonna have fun, there is gonna be noticeable athletic qualities about the kid, and you say, "Wow, I never saw that before." Then you gonna start keying in on those things and say, "Hey, maybe we get him in the wrong position. We get him at we get him at cornerback. Maybe he should be on defensive end because we judging them by size. You get small defensive ends, but they're fast, and if they get in, they're just as mean as on cornerback.
mhm.
So there's so much to go around, so much to go around when we talk about kids. But the thing that you don't want to do, and again, I find it very, very hard for a school that's really been put on the map by this individual to have actions taken for two complaints.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind-boggling if you think about it. Two complaints. I can see if he had over a dozen, and it all lines up that he was abusive to the kids. He got caught whacking them in the head. Open handing the kids for no reason. Stuff like that. Hey, okay, fine. You got to temper this situation down, or it's going to get worse. But because of two complaints, I mean,
Oh, I want to read Marlene's comment because my son played basketball with Sterling and Stu, awesome athletes, human beings. They are still the same. What a loss to Kahuku. He got noticed as a coach nationally, absolutely. But honestly, Mel, can you say you never saw coaches play favorites? No, I have. I'm not saying I haven't. But when you have a team like Kahuku, that they have the record that they do, and I watch them play, and it's hard. I can see if he was playing his son, his nephew, his cousin, his whatever, and they were not championship they weren't winning championships. In this case, it was obvious that this coach put the right people in the right places with the right plan, and they were able to win championships. So no, absolutely, and favorites. I mean, I see it a lot in youth, in the youth at the youth level. I see a lot. Coaches. I don't think. In fact, when my son played pop, as soon as he started playing, I was coaching his team. But after a little while, I stepped down because I didn't want to coach him, and not because I was going to play favorites. It's just it was better for him to develop with other coaches than me on the field as a coach because I'm his dad. And I mean, and I see a lot of that, in the youth leagues. But nowadays, no more coaches, like you said, Charlie. No more. No, if no more coaches, no more team. So in many
You
cases,
know,
we cannot help.
to me, you know what favoritism is? Is when you have a favorite player that number one, no can catch on pass, but you still leave them in the game.
Right. That's exactly what I'm.
Or you have a favorite player that's running back, and yet he has the slowest speed out of all the running backs, and for the first 5 carries, never score no yards, even though the lineman opened up on whole form because that player was too scared for run up the middle. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's what favoritism is.
I can give you a real life example of favoritism right now that no one can
Mm.
dispute, no one can deny. The
What?
Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, their quarterback. He's not the best quarterback, but they love him. They paid him a lot of money. So they're playing him because that's all favoritism, man. They are
No,
better
no,
quarterbacks.
no.
uh,
That's not. They're playing him because they got to get their money's worth.
yeah. but Charlie, you nailed it on the head. That's exactly what favoritism is. And it's like, again, when you where's that comment? Right here. Sandy's comment. It's a reflection of the parents. When that kid, those kids of those parents that have made these complaints, are have learned a life lesson that if you're not happy, just cry, just cry, and
No, you
and
know what's
cry
going to
until you
happen?
get your way.
Okay, number one, I will say this. I went to Kamehameha. I will tell you this. Them folks out in Kahoku, they're growing big. I mean, real big. Half of them, I think, they're adults in high school. But, but I will tell you this. The word gets out who the complainants were. You think these kids going to have an easy time? Especially when you get one school that love this coach so dearly. I guarantee you, those kids going to get a hard time now. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, the parents should have thought, hey, what's best for my child? You weren't thinking that, right? You weren't thinking that, parents. So now you just expose your child to possibly getting bullied in school now because of what happened. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you were a betting guy, I kind of, unless everybody felt the same way that, oh, they're going to back up the two complainants, right? Or whoever these individuals were, then that's different. But I haven't seen anything that you've read to our viewers that it's anything like that. So
yeah.
I'm just worried about the safety of the individuals. But anyway,
Tyson says star athletes will always have some sort of favoritism at the high school and college level. To me personally, that's only a problem if those athletes don't lead by example with their effort and attitudes, because now you'd be catering to only their skill and not their character. Bingo. Perfect. That's right, and
uh,
you see it. You see it. In some colleges, in some universities, you watch some college games. You see the starter down on the bench because of character. Yeah, because they did something stupid, or they didn't. They violated some team rule, and some coaches have no problem sitting those guys down, and that's how it should be.
yeah,
That's how it should be. That's how, because see, football is not only about football, right? It's about the life skills that you learn. As I said earlier, if you want to be a starter, then you better work harder than the guy next to you. And you may not be even a better athlete, but if you can show the coach that you're coachable and you're working your butt off, you're gonna have a shot. You're gonna have a shot. You will have a shot.
well, I'd like to extend a great big mahalo to Tyson Moises. I mean, he is so eloquent in the statements he makes on this. I mean, I'm sure he's not using AI, but man, I heard him talk before. It's nowhere near what he just typed. But anyway, thank you,
he's
Tyson.
he's using Charlie. He's using Chat GPT. He's using the
Yeah.
Chat GPT. Yeah. Honey says, not to change the topic, but why is a county council meeting filming so horrible? Everyone's faces are blurred, and the planning commission videos are even worse. The county pays big bucks. Okay, first of all, the Hawike is doing the county council. Hawike is not doing the planning commission. The planning commission is being done in house. It's interesting you brought that question up because ask anybody at the you'll never see this on TV because I've been blowing my gaskets before they turn the cameras on because we have been going to council meetings, budget meetings, and our system is having so much technical difficulties that yeah, I'm not happy. So we were told just last week in the finance IT budget hearing that April we're getting a whole new system. So I gave them that. If if they cannot fix it by April, then I have directed our clerk to start the RFP process to bring in a new company to redo the whole thing and fix it because I am disgusted. We I did talk to our managing director that we are going to be funding whole week. They're not getting paid a lot at all. I got to tell you, from what they used to get paid back in the day, honey, it's nowhere near it now. They get paid hourly. It's a contract that I think is not fair for Hoike. So we're going to fix that in this budget. We're going to put more money in there so that they can actually operate and not lose money because they do a lot more than our council meetings. They do a lot of community events. They do the mayor's show. They do the county council roundup. All of that is not. They're not getting paid for that. So we need to get them paid for that. But they're gonna redo the. They're gonna go back to the planning commission meetings, and we're gonna do our best to get that system back on track. I will say this though, we are streaming live starting yesterday. Well, yesterday the system went down, so we didn't do a live because our damn system went down. But today was the first day we now stream live on Hoike's YouTube channel. So rather than trying to go figure out Kauai.gov, click the webcast and find the meeting, you just go to YouTube, go to the Hoike channel, and you can watch our council and budget meetings live on YouTube. So that is a huge, huge, huge step. Let's see.
Mel, can I ask you a question? And I know this happened way back when dinosaurs roamed the land. Why was the police commission no longer televised like it used to be? What happened?
I think you guys, when you guys had your thing that after you guys had caused all that problems and sued the county, I think the mayor said, "Screw that." But I want to bring that back as well. So, yeah, we're having a
No,
lot of
I know,
discussion.
I know why you bringing it back because Charlie Iona and the rest of his musketeers are no longer participating
No, no,
with the
no. I
police.
I had nothing to do with them stop filming the police commission. I think all of our commission meetings, uh, police, planning, and council should be shown. But the real reason is this: is as Honey says, I want to see which council members are talking about and also the testifiers. So the new system has all new cameras, a new switcher, a whole new system. So now I'll be honest, I'll believe it when I see it, because, but that's okay because Plan B is to completely separate the council from the rest of the county and just do a system for county council itself and have a top of the line system. And that's the plan. But I share your concern. It is like the ugliest broadcast. The legislature does a great job. I told our IT people just copy them. Just whatever they use the same, and they go live on YouTube as well. So uh,
You know what the legislature does it right. The University of Hawaii, they have like about 20 students with iPhones, and they just record them live.
Charlie, as funny as that sounds, I will tell you this: the
Yeah.
iPhone camera is. If we did our council meetings with the iPhone camera, we'd have better quality. We'd have better quality. I mean, I offered the system that I have here. I have a
Yeah.
Sony camera. It's not that expensive, and I mean I think I'm pretty clear.
Oh no, it's nice.
I
You have
mean,
a nice setup. Yeah.
yeah, and it's I mean, we need better cameras. We need better sound. Oh, you should, Charlie. The next time you come by the office, I'm gonna take you upstairs. I'm gonna show you our equipment box.
I
Charlie,
saw it. I saw it.
I mean,
The
it's
last
like,
time,
did I show it to you? The
the
the one
one that
upstairs
the one that's on the right corner
in
as
the
you
exec.
enter.
It's in the executive session room. It's not in the chambers. No, no, that
Oh,
that is no that we got rid of that. We got rid of that.
okay.
That was rubbish. But no, in the executive session room, there's a cabinet that has all these components that, you know, I, when I was in a survey, when I was in air, I was a telephone guy. We didn't have solid state or digital equipment. We had relays. You know the old relays. That's the kind of system. That's how old I am. But I think that system that I used to work on in the military is more up to date than what we get in there right now. It's scary.
Oh. So
Uh,
could it be that they're mistaken, with this system? Is it possible that that system was meant for the Kauai Museum? Since you're saying it's like, oh,
well, but I tell you, when we replace this system, I'm gonna tell IT take this trash and take them right over to the museum and put them in there because that's where it belongs, Charlie. I swear to God, that's where it belongs. Do you know how
um,
many employees work from home? No, I don't. I don't know if you watch the budget meetings. I asked that question of HR. She just looked at me and told me, I don't know. I said, you supposed to know as the HR director. So yeah, we're waiting to see. We're waiting to see what their response is. I don't know. She did name some departments like the purchasing. All of purchasing is teleworking, and I don't understand why. Jamie, welcome, buddy. Council meetings need better audio. Great news for upgrades. Well, again, I'm only telling you what I'm being told. The proof is in the pudding. I'll believe it when I see it. April, the last week of April, is when we're scheduled for the transformation of the system. We shall see. But
mhm.
like I said, if it doesn't work, then we're gonna get another self-contained system that's gonna be just us, and it's gonna be the best quality, even better than Channel 9. Charlie,
Yes,
you're so crazy.
thank you,
According to Cindy. According to Cindy.
thank you. No, I've always believed that you know there's both sides to every story, but when you stream it live, you can actually, people can really judge for themselves because it's very hard to say that, well, I said this. They go, no, you didn't, because everything was videoed and everything was live. So I think that's part of the whole thing, right? Is you capturing real live testimony given, especially when you get important bills at hand and you
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
know how it's
yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, right? You want to see
correct.
it live, and for those that want to, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
mandatory, right? But so I think the YouTube will help because I think a lot more people can tune into YouTube and watch it on YouTube versus the really difficult process to find our meetings on our county website. You got to click a few times. Where on YouTube, you just go to Hawike, subscribe to their channel, and and then you get notified whenever they go live, and you just got to press the button on your phone and you get to watch it live. So we'll see how that goes. We just Today was our first day, and
Hmm.
but I think that's going to be quite popular.
Well,
I think that's going to
who's
be quite
ever
popular.
watching tonight, please just remind them, if you like what you're seeing now, go to the bottom of your screen, hit that like button. And,
Well, if you're on YouTube, I just listen. Remember, I told you guys a while back, and I stopped talking about it because I didn't get any. But remember this slide here that
yeah.
at some point we're going to be transitioning across to you. We're already broadcasting live on YouTube right now, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. But I just got a email from uh, Facebook that they're slowly doing the transition. Right now, they're deleting all of the videos, all of the live videos that we have on our Facebook page are going to be deleted after 30 days. So they're starting, Charlie. They're starting. So I think that's the first step. Phase one, phase two is going to be okay. Now, if you want to do live on Facebook, you're gonna have to pay or buy a subscription plan. So that's
Mm.
why I've been telling you guys, if you can, start the transition over to YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. It's very simple. It's Mel Raposo. You also find the Kauai County Council updates on there, plus some random crap that if I feel like posting, I'll put up. You never know what you can find on my page. But yeah, start doing that transition now, because when it happens, I want to make sure you guys are all prepared. Because yes, we wanna do it. Yes, Jimmy. After the fact, you watch it on YouTube. Absolutely. But you can watch it on the county website as well. They have all the meetings archived, including the planning. But Hawaii does so much for our island. They do all the community meetings, the Waimea 400 meetings, all of these community meetings. They're going out there. They're not getting paid for it. They're not getting paid. So we appreciate and we mahalo Hawaii. They've really changed their direction and their vision, and they want to really. So if you guys want to stop in and do a video on anything, um, just go in and do it. You can do it. They got open mics. They got whatever you want. If you do videos and you wanna put it on Hawaii, just shoot it over to them and they'll put it up. They gotta put it up. They gotta put it up. Or am I gonna do town halls for the budget like last year? I'm not sure, Jimmy. I think we are like so short-handed at the council. We lost a couple more staff members because of one of them moved to Arizona. The other one went to the state judiciary. I want to. Let's just put it that way for right now. I want to. But Hawaii is still getting funded by consumers. Yes, they are. But they just got a massive cut from the INET funds. And yeah, so we wanna make sure we support them so they can support us. But anyway, yeah.
Well, as again, if you like what you see, just hit that like button and the subscribe button on the bottom, and also we do get extra credit if you hit that thumbs up. If any of you can follow it to the top of your screen, hit it before it leaves the screen. We get an extra 50 points. So thank you.
I don't know even how many people are actually on YouTube right now. Let's see. Can I tell? I don't think I can tell by this thing. Oh no, no, I cannot. No, I can. We have 7 people watching on YouTube right now, and we have 26 people on Facebook. It's so crazy because we'll have 25 to 30 people watching live on Facebook, and then by the time I go up and I fix the YouTube upload, and then before I go sleep, I check and we get like 1,000 views. It's so cool. Appreciate you guys. It's always fun because you never know what the heck we're going to talk about. You just never know what the heck we're going to talk about. Um, I thought the Sterling story was big because it was so unexpected. It was just so unexpected. Um, but we just wish him well. Still wish him well.
Hey,
What else? What else is going on, Charles? What after? What after? Oh, here we
well,
go. Here, hang on, real quick. Sam says after the fact, but could you have the Wahine volleyball match on your YouTube channel?
it's kind of difficult because of certain NCAA. Yeah, you got to double check.
Did they videotape it?
Yeah,
Did they? I don't think so.
but it's not on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't
That's the
think I
problem.
don't I don't think they I think you're right, Charlie. I don't think they're allowed to
Yeah,
videotape. Um,
but if you want to see the UH, Sam, they're not on YouTube. You can try Taya Tube because I saw them at Taya Warehouse, and it might be. I'm sorry, Sam. I just gave
yeah,
you
I
punch.
I was the kids from the school. They were running the board, but the board was the scoreboard, the graphics, the sound. But I don't believe anybody was videotaping the game. I didn't see any cameras. Um, yeah, and I gotta believe it's an NCAA thing. But
Yeah, usually when we get involved in, and again, it is our goal that when we have the ability to bring them up for exhibition games, we really think that all the outer islands should be exposed and give them the opportunity to, see a live game that normally it's everything is on Oahu, right? Well, let's have an exhibition game on the outer islands. I tell you, it would be it'd be very helpful for our young athletes. I guarantee it's going to inspire them to want to go to that level too, because from what Stephanie said in speaking with a lot of the young girls that went for that exhibition game with Wisconsin, it motivated them even more to work harder to make it to that level. And they're young; they're still young yet.
Charlie,
But just
after watching that game, I want to go back to UH and go play for the Wahine.
okay.
I want to. That game did it for me, man.
No, it's
That
just
day,
really you got so much talent, and
I was taller than
I,
I think one of the girls.
huh?
I'm taller than one of the girls on at the UH side. I was
Was
shorter
she the
than
was she the ball girl, the one that
no,
brings the ball? Was you
no,
taller than that
no,
girl?
no. She was one of the actual. She was really good too, though. Holy moly! I think
Libero.
they
Was she
have
a
like
libero?
yeah. I think she gets springs in her shoes because there's no way the little girl can jump that high. But it's crazy, crazy. I I will follow up with Tyson's comment that they think Kawhi Media did film it. If they did film it, and I get permission from the UH to do it, I'll definitely put them up on my channel. But it's it's kind of like I'm assuming it will be one angle. I don't know. I'll go find out. But if I can get permission, we'll put it up. We'll definitely
Yeah.
put it up. We'll definitely put it up. Um,
I got to play um, one time at the Central YMCA, and you find some really good games there. So I was with one side. They said, "Hey, we need an extra player, volleyball, right?" I said, "Okay," and I thought I could jump. I was sadly mistaken. What you think you can do and what you actually do don't go that path. So the players on the other side were all Oahu Community Correctional Center prison guards, and they took their frustration out on that volleyball. And when it spiked, before I could even bring my hands up, the ball already whacked me in the forehead. Not once, not twice, not three times, over five times. I left that gym, looked like I had a massive bee sting on my head. And but I gotta say, my head did pretty good in blocking the shots. But that's not how you want to play volleyball.
no, no, no. What's up,
Woo!
brother Roger? Can we talk about the fun topic of Mount Mana? We can not tonight though because we are just about out of time, but we will definitely have that discussion. I'll have to invite some
Where's
special guests. Mount the landfill. He's talking about the landfill.
oh I was like, okay, where is it?
Roger. Oh yeah. Uh, you know, yeah. That's just a really tough issue for me to discuss. So we will save that for another show. I will say tonight, Charlie. I was going to surprise everybody because Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke was supposed to join us tonight.
Oh, what happened?
She had to cancel because of another engagement, but that's all good. That's all good. So we rescheduled for next week, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I'm sorry. Yeah, next week, Tuesday. And she couldn't do Tuesday. I was hoping we could do it Tuesday because I cannot do it on Thursday. Anyway, we rescheduled for the 24th, April 24th. That was finally confirmed. And then I had to cancel because I have another function on the 24th that I didn't see on my calendar when I confirmed with her office. So I'll just say that Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke, I gave her all today. I sent her all the available dates. So we're gonna have Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke on for a fun talk story. My promise to her was that we was just gonna have fun. She has an amazing story, Charlie. She has an amazing story. You know her well. You know her well, and her focus and her passion is for our keiki and keiki education. So,
Oh yeah.
and I know you know this, Charlie, but I'm sure a lot of the people don't know that um, she was born in South Korea, and she didn't get to America till she was 9 years old. And what a story, an immigrant that worked her way up, got very, very intelligent, and is
Hmm.
now our lieutenant governor. So yeah, just be on the lookout. As soon as we get the date confirmed, I will let you guys know, and then we're gonna have good fun with her. We're
Yeah,
gonna have good fun with her.
yeah. Well, just folks, just keep an eye, lookout. We're gonna clear the calendar for 2026, and we'll find a date. I mean, 2025.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Volleyball teams want a libero. You'd be like a lucha libre. Yes, absolutely, man. A lucha libre. That would be me.
Is that a wrestling term?
Yes, it is.
Lucha.
It's the Mexican wrestlers. Keith says April 24th is the NFL draft. I still trying to I still trying to figure out who we gonna get in Pittsburgh, man. What the heck? Is Big
Huh?
Ben coming back? Is Big Ben Roethlisberger coming back? I think he's gonna be a surprise.
It's
The USFL combined, and it's awesome, man. Good games this past week. Good games. Let's see what else we
you
got
know
here. Mount Opala. Yes, Sandy, you are correct. And Tyson says Sylvia is awesome. And Roger, you are right. There are some solution ideas that the leaders of yesteryear actually worked. I cannot agree with you more. We overcomplicate things sometimes, but yeah, we'll definitely have that discussion. I promise. But anyway, what else you got, Charles, before we head out for the night?
well, I do want to say again a shout out to the community on Kauai, especially we've seen a decline in travelers. I mean, the airport has been relatively quiet. There are certain peaks where it's just naturally busy, especially when we have our visitors that's going back home, usually at night. But I do want to send a shout out saying thank you so much. Everything has been peaceful, has been very sometimes when the lines get long, nobody's getting out of hand. Everybody is just being respectful, especially respecting each other's space, giving everybody space. Because if everybody just take your time, you're gonna get through the checkpoint. There's no ifs, ands, or but. You're gonna make your flight. But there's also the other side to the coin, and that is you have to be responsible and get there ahead of time. Okay, because we can only do so much. But I just wanted to say thank you to the community. They've been extra well. We haven't had any arrest. We haven't had any. That's things that we don't like to see, but it happens every so often, and we have a duty to react and respond. And normally we don't want that kind of stuff from happening. But again, all of the people of Kauai, you have done well, and I am so grateful and thank you because my staff gets to go home safely, and you folks get to travel safely, and hopefully wherever you're going, you get there safely, and then you make it back to Kauai, and that's all I've got to share tonight.
Thank you, Uncle Charlie. Yeah, when the airlines tell people for check in to the airport 2 hours before your flight, they're not joking. If you go to the airport 2 hours before, you are going to make your flight. What irritates me is when mostly the tourists, when you're standing in line and they're like getting, oh, Cat, you mind if I go ahead of you because my flight is leaving in half an hour. Well, that means you came to the airport half an hour before your flight, which means the answer is no, miss your flight because I came 2 hours ahead. Just that's why they tell you come 2 hours ahead. Anyway,
Another thing that really, since you brought it up, we know there's rules, and so I appreciate you guys bringing those roller bags. But that doesn't mean you bring one roller bag and about five hand carry bags. Okay, you just don't do that.
yeah,
And when you get in, you guys take forever. You bring your own roller bag that you cannot even lift to put them up. So I don't understand. Try roll something that you can carry and lift up, right? I mean, and then you try bring them back and you try to push them under the seat, and just by eyeballing the bag, you already tell yourself it ain't gonna work. you know,
Yeah.
it seems like that. And then what even gets worse, you're ready to push back, and you're always gonna get that knucklehead that like go to the bathroom. For what? I mean, you never have the urge before you would even come inside a plane. I mean, what?
Yeah, because I cannot imagine you'd hold your shishi to use the airplane bathroom. There's just you sick in the head if you did that. Anyway, Jimmy, mahalo. Yeah, thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. We appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, next week. So I think it was next week. Hang on
Yeah.
here. What did I just say? I'm so
No,
next next week.
you went through 48 different dates because of the
Right,
casting.
because of the lieutenant governor. So next week we're gonna be on Tuesday, okay? Because I'm flying out. Patsy and I are flying out on Thursday night. We're going to California for the weekend for our Pop Warner conference, and then we're flying over to Texas to hang out with our my daughter and our grandkids for a week.
Yeah,
So
cool.
our show next week will be on Tuesday, Charlie. Tuesday,
Okay.
the 8th, and then I'm not so sure
Well,
about the week after that. Eh,
I will. You'll see the redecorating of my new home, and I'm gonna be streaming from my new home
Okay,
next week.
perfect, perfect.
Yeah, it's called K Triple C. I'm gonna show you inside of the prison at Kauai.
All right. Okay. So next week,
Uh,
Tuesday, guys, mark them in your calendar. We see you guys. And don't forget, if start the transition to YouTube, go to YouTube, subscribe to
yeah.
my channel. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Aloha, guys. Ahoy ho.